So if you're searching, if you keep searching Wikipedia and you have trouble finding something because you keep finding these featured pages, there are a few ways that you can go about finding something. And one of those is to look for articles that have been tagged by this rating scheme as less than a featured article or an A article. And the other way, so that's one way I'm going to show you, and the other way I'm going to show you is by working backwards from some information you have from some good sources to see what has been written about them in Wikipedia and see if you can enhance an article, find an article on that topic or a subset of an article that would need enhancement, and you have then the source to start with. Okay, so if you're looking for something for cleanup, there are projects and portals. These are where they try to group pages together and a community of writers who write about a certain subject. And these groups are open, and anybody with any interest in the subject can get into them. So for example, there's an environmental portal, an engineering project, there's an architecture portal, and those portals have lists of open tasks. People say, you know, that page on the Eiffel Tower needs improvement. And you can find those pages. So here...
Are you going to go back to the other tabs, like the history tab?
I don't know if I clipped that screen, but I should. I think I forgot to. Yeah, I should have.
Well,
let's talk about it.
There's also a tab called the history tab.
Here it is.
And that shows you the history of the page and how long it's been in existence, how much it's been edited. One of the things that will be good for you is to not take a page that's continually edited or a page that was created in 2002 and never touched. A page like that may need much more work, and a page that's continually edited may be too complex of a dynamic situation to fix. But looking at that is important, because if you see that there are people actively editing, you can go into the discussion page and say what your interest is. I would like to improve this page by adding content on, or adding so many references about what's here. And that way, you're not just going in and blasting a hole in a work that exists in the community. Because I want to warn you, there are people who take their pages very personally.
Yeah.
And they will go in and change what you did or revert back to what they had because they believe what they wrote is right, even if it's wrong, even if it's not supported, because it's their page. So be careful, there are lunatics on Wikipedia.
Yeah, you do need to read both the discussion tab and the history tabs to get an understanding of the community you're entering. That's what you really want to do.
And so that's why those portals and those major projects are important, because you can kind of see what it fits in. You know, going into an environmental page, but you're not trying to be environmental, may pose more problems than if you went in through a technology mindset. The level of the writing, the types of sources, the quality, whether it's an international issue versus an American issue, even though this is just for US, there are some international users who often will change spellings, who will talk about, well, that in the UK, that's not right. You can't use, say, generally or globally this exists, because that's not true. So be careful of understanding the situation you find yourself to get that context.
Right. So here I have a screenshot of one of the portals, the environmental portal, because that's what we had done in the past. And if you scroll through these pages, you'll get one, ideas, and two, you'll eventually get to a list of things that need to be done. And one of the things that every subject area, portal, or project has are pages which show all the pages as they're rated, a list of, it's an index to the ratings. And so the smallest kind of article that has the least written about it, that needs the most work, is called in Wikipedia a stub. So it means somebody put up a few sentences and not much else, probably no references and not much at all. That's a stub. A start page would be something that is got a good start but still needs substantial work. So for example, on the computing page, I just took a screenshot of the ones that range from a good article status to a stub. And you can see here the descriptions. Like a B article is an article is mostly complete without major issues, but requires a little bit more work. Maybe that wouldn't be one you'd want to do. But a C article, the article's substantial, but it's still missing important content. It might have irrelevant material that needs to be taken out. It should have some references, but maybe it could have better ones. Maybe it needs a little reorganization. On a start page, and I guess I would guess the start page is a sort of an ideal kind of a page. An article, it's developing, but it's incomplete, and it most notably lacks adequate, reliable sources. There's your key. And a stub is a very basic description of the topic, and I would say from my experience, sometimes the stubs are not even very good definitions. They're poorly worded and need a lot of work even there. So
just to help the class and the people listening online, to find this, if you search in Wikipedia, can you just put in index of pages?
No. No. Actually, you have to link your way there. When you are on a portal, and you can, in each of these portals, you can find a place that says something like things to do, or the quality ratings. And when you get to those pages, then you have to sort of back into these. I haven't found a quick way to get to these pages, and because also they're all organized according to the subject matter. So there's not, well, if there probably is one mega page, but I don't know where it is. If I find it, I'll put it in the slideshow.
Right, well, we can link it on Google.
Yeah, right. But basically, you're going to be in a subject area that you're interested in. And there are going to be, in every subject area, there are going to be feature articles that are great, and there are going to be ones that need a lot of work. So you really should start in a subject that interests you, that you know a little bit about, that you know where to find some material on, and then work with that subject to find a page that's appropriate for this assignment. That would be my advice.
And one thing I want to warn you about, many of you may hear stub and think, oh, I don't want to do that, or may hear B article, that's too good. Not necessarily.
No, yeah, that's true.
As you have less on the page, you want to have a much more highly specialized technical thing that you're talking about. You could have a stub which is simply a very highly precise definition of very small field, and that's all that would be on the page. Maybe it's a stub because the definition isn't that well written, or there's no citations, references, or links. So finding that stub may be the perfect project for you.
Right.
Because in chemical engineering, you're talking about a certain special kind of distillation column used in pharmaceuticals in the third world as a startup which runs on propane. Wikipedia could have a stub about that because there isn't that much to write about that really specialized topic. For our project, if that stub needs to have its definitions clarified, be linked more accurately, and then sourced, that's a perfect thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? On the other hand, if you go up to a B article where pretty much you assess it as really good, but it's missing a piece of content, and some of the citations are there, but they need to be raised in quality because they're just web pages, and you can find database articles, that's equally as good a project. But it really depends on your interest and your abilities, your level of expertise in that field. So any of those, BC, starter, or stub might be okay.
Yeah.
I would think that the C article is the one you want to avoid.